What if I told you that real wealth has nothing to do with money? That even without luxury, fame, or success, you can still live a truly rich life? In this lesson, you will discover the one thing that makes life full and meaningful, while improving your English naturally through story and reflection. Many people spend their whole lives chasing money. They work longer hours, buy bigger houses, and dream of more success. They believe wealth means possessions, cars, clothes, and numbers in a bank account. But even when they finally get those things, they still feel empty inside. Why? Because they have mistaken comfort for fulfillment and luxury for peace. True wealth has nothing to do with what you own. It has everything to do with what lives inside you, your gratitude, your kindness, your purpose, and your peace of mind. These are treasures that no one can steal, no market can crash, and no time can destroy. When you have them, even a simple life feels rich. When you lose them, even a palace feels poor. Think about it. The happiest people in the world are not always the richest. They are the ones who wake up thankful, who give without fear, and who find beauty in ordinary moments. Their hearts are full, even when their wallets are not. In this lesson, you will explore what it truly means to live richly, from the inside out. You will hear stories of people who have little, yet live with deep peace and joy. You will learn how to see wealth not as something you chase, but as something you create through your thoughts, your actions, and your heart. This is not just an English lesson. It's a journey of the soul, a reminder that learning a language can also be a way to learn about life. Listen carefully. Each sentence is simple English. Each word carries a small truth. As you learn English, you also learn the language of the heart, gratitude, meaning, and inner strength. Because when your heart is rich, your life can never be poor. There was once a poor man who lived on the edge of a small village. He had no house, no job, and no family left. Every morning, he walked through the market streets with a small wooden bowl, asking for coins just to buy a little bread. One cold evening, after a long day with almost nothing, he counted the coins in his bowl. There was only one left. Just one. Enough for a small piece of bread. He smiled softly to himself and began walking to the bakery. On his way, he saw a little boy sitting by the roadside. The boy was thin, shaking from hunger, and holding his stomach. The poor man stopped. He looked at the child, then at his single coin. For a moment, he felt torn inside. He could buy bread and eat tonight, or give the coin away and sleep hungry again. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and then slowly placed the coin in the boy's hand. The child looked up in surprise. His eyes filled with tears, and he whispered, "Thank you." The poor man smiled and said, "It's okay. Tonight, you eat. Tomorrow will come for both of us." That night, the poor man had no food. He sat under the stars, his stomach empty but his heart full. The wind was cold, yet something inside him felt warm. He looked at the sky and whispered, "Maybe I have nothing, but tonight I gave something." He closed his eyes and fell into deep, peaceful sleep. Not far away, inside a large mansion, a rich man turned restlessly in his golden bed. His body was tired, but his mind would not stop racing. He worried about business, money, and the fear of losing what he had. His house was full of things, but empty of peace. When the sun rose, the poor man woke up smiling. He had no breakfast, but he felt strong. The rich man woke up too, but his face was pale, his heart heavy. One man had everything but peace, the other had nothing but peace. And peace was enough. Moral of the story: you are poor when you only have money. You are rich when you have peace, kindness, and a generous heart. Vocabulary focus: kindness, helping others without expecting anything back. Peace, the quiet strength inside your heart. Enough, when you stop wanting more and start feeling grateful. Heart, the place where love and courage live. Wealth, not what you own, but what you feel. Repeat after me. Kindness is wealth. Peace is enough. A rich heart never goes hungry. There was once a man who had everything. At least, that's what people thought. He had a big house, a beautiful car, a successful business, and many followers who admired him. But every night, when he was alone, he felt something missing. He told himself, maybe I just need more. More money. More success. More recognition. More things to fill the empty space inside. So he worked harder, bought more, and ran faster. But the faster he ran, the emptier he felt. One day, while traveling in the mountains, he met an old monk sitting quietly under a tree. The monk wore simple clothes and had no possessions, only a small bowl, a walking stick, and a calm smile. Curious, the man asked, "You seem so peaceful. Don't you ever want more in life?" The monk looked up and said gently, "More? No. The richest person is the one who needs the least." The man laughed. "But how can you live with so little? Don't you get bored, or tired, or hungry?" The monk smiled again. "Of course, sometimes I get hungry. Sometimes I get tired. But I never get poor. Because I know what is enough." He pointed to the trees, the sky, and the stream nearby. "See these," he said. "They don't chase anything. The tree grows, the river flows, the bird sings. Everything lives simply, and that is why everything is at peace." The man was silent. His mind was noisy, but his heart began to understand. That night, he stayed in the small hut beside the monk's temple. There was no soft bed, no lights, no internet. Just a thin mat and the sound of the wind. At first, he couldn't sleep. He missed his bed, his phone, his comfort. But slowly, he began to relax. He listened to the quiet. He breathed deeply. And for the first time in years, he felt free. When the morning came, he looked out at the sunrise over the mountains. It was simple. It was beautiful. And he realized, he didn't need more to feel happy. He just needed less to feel alive. Moral of the story. True wealth is not found in abundance, but in appreciation. When you stop chasing more, you begin to see how much you already have. English keywords. Enough, having what you need, and not needing more. Desire, the endless hunger for more. Freedom, the peace that comes when you stop chasing. Simple, clear, easy, and peaceful. Happiness, not something you find, but something you feel when your heart is calm. Repeat after me. The richest person needs the least. Enough is a choice, not a number. Simplicity is the key to happiness. And so, the man returned to his city with fewer possessions, but a richer heart. He no longer lived to have more, he lived to be more. There was once a woman who lost everything. Her home was destroyed by a storm, her small shop washed away, and all that remained were broken pieces of wood and wet clothes. For days, she sat outside, staring at the ruins. She felt empty, like the world had taken everything from her. Her neighbors brought food and clothes, but inside, she was still broken. One morning, an old neighbor came to visit. He handed her a small notebook and said, "Write one thing you're thankful for each day. Just one." The woman shook her head. "Thankful? For what? I have nothing left." The neighbor smiled gently. "Start small. Be thankful for the air you breathe, for the sun that still rises, for your heartbeat that still continues. Gratitude will help you see what the storm could not destroy." That night, she opened the notebook. The page looked empty, just like her heart. But she thought for a long time and wrote, "I'm thankful for being alive." It didn't make her feel happy, but it made her feel a little lighter. The next day, she wrote again, "I'm thankful for my neighbor's kindness." The next, "I'm thankful for the birds that still sing after the rain." Day by day, she kept writing. Slowly, her words began to change her world. She started noticing things she had never seen before. The smell of coffee in the morning, the laughter of children, the warmth of the sun on her face. Each word of gratitude was like a seed, growing a small flower inside her heart. Months passed. She still had no house, no shop, no money. But she smiled again. She helped others rebuild their homes. She cooked with friends and shared food with children. One afternoon, a visitor asked her, "You lost everything. How can you still be so joyful?" She smiled and held up her notebook. "Because I didn't lose everything. I still have eyes to see beauty, hands to give, and a heart to feel thankful. Gratitude turned my losses into lessons, and my pain into peace." Moral of the story: gratitude does not change what you have, it changes how you see it. When you learn to say thank you for what remains, your heart becomes richer than any treasure. English focus. Gratitude, a deep feeling of appreciation. Thankful, being glad for what you have. Joy, a quiet happiness that comes from the heart. Blessing, something good you often forget to notice. Perspective, the way you choose to see your life. Repeat after me. Gratitude turns pain into peace. Joy begins with thankfulness. When you change your perspective, you change your world. And from that day, she was never truly poor again. Because gratitude made her see abundance where others saw nothing. Her storm had taken her house, but it had given her a heart full of treasure. Now, let's take a moment to breathe, reflect, and remember what we've learned today. We explored 3 stories, 3 windows into what true wealth really means. The first story taught us that peace is greater than possessions. The poor man had nothing in his hands, but peace in his heart. He slept under the stars, calm and free, while the rich man, surrounded by gold, could not rest. True wealth begins when you stop chasing and start feeling at peace with where you are. The second story showed that enough is a choice. The man who always wanted more discovered the secret from a simple monk: the richest person is the one who needs the least. When you stop measuring life by what you don't have, you begin to live in freedom. And the third story revealed the power of gratitude. The woman who lost everything found treasure again, not in money, but in her heart. Gratitude turned her pain into peace, and her emptiness into abundance. So, the 3 lessons are simple but life-changing. 1. Peace over possessions. 2. Enough is a choice. 3. Gratitude creates abundance. Now, let's practice some key English words from this lesson. Listen and repeat after me. Gratitude, the feeling of being thankful. Peace, calmness inside your heart. Enough, when you have what you need and stop wanting more. Freedom, the power to live without fear or endless desire. Blessing, something good you already have. Kindness, doing good without expecting anything back. Wealth, the richness of your heart, not your wallet. Now, repeat after me. True wealth is peace. True wealth is gratitude. True wealth is enough. Take a deep breath. Feel each word as you say it. Because these are not just English sentences, they are truths for your life. Ask yourself, which story touched your heart the most? Was it the man who found peace in poverty, the monk who lived simply, or the woman who found joy in gratitude? Remember, learning English is not only about speaking better, it's about living better. When you practice these words, you're also practicing how to live with peace, contentment, and love. Because in the end, a rich life is not about having more, it's about feeling enough. Now, it's your turn to practice what you've learned, not just with your English, but with your life. Today, take 5 quiet minutes for yourself. Sit somewhere peaceful, take a deep breath, and write down 3 things you already have, things that make your life full right now. It could be something small, like a warm cup of coffee, a friend who listens, or the sound of rain outside your window. After you write them, say this simple sentence aloud. I have enough. Say it slowly. Feel it. Because in that moment, you're reminding your heart that you are already rich. The secret of life is not to get everything you want. The secret is to notice and appreciate what you already have. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into blessings. Simplicity gives you freedom. And peace makes your heart truly wealthy. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments. What makes your life rich today? Maybe it's someone you love. Maybe it's something you've learned. Or maybe It's the peace of being alive in this very moment. Your story can inspire someone else. Your words can be a light for another heart that feels poor or lost. Because wealth is not about how much you keep, it's about how much light you give. As you continue your English journey, remember, every new word you learn is not just a tool for communication. It's a door to deeper understanding, reflection, and connection. Each story teaches not only English, but also life. So let's end with one final reminder. You may not have everything you want, but if you have peace, purpose, and gratitude, you already have everything. Don't just learn English. Learn how to live richly. Don't just live. Live full.